Welcome to this month's edition of Outlook Video, your nationally recognized, award-winning show for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender communities. I'm Roberta Gonzalez-Gregg.
And I'm Tom Smith. And this month's show, Roberta will be interviewing JoAnne Keatley. JoAnne is the MSW Project Director of the Transgender Resource and Neighborhood Space, also known as Trans.
Trans, that's it. Raymond Donald Hong will be bringing us his third segment of his coverage of the recent gay marriages in San Francisco.
David Naimon and Raymond Donald Hong will be reviewing The Vampire Lovers, a 1970s movie released on DVD. The Vampire Lovers is an adaptation of Carmilla, an 1872 novel by J. Sheridan Le Fanu.
I look forward to that. Aaron Bruno will be interviewing DJ Nikita. He will also be seeing Nikita in action, doing what he does at the Club Mezzanine a little bit later in the show. Every Christmas, Davis Symphony Hall in San Francisco hosts the annual Sing It Yourself Messiah. And every first weekend in December, the San Francisco Lesbian Gay Freedom Band, the official band of San Francisco, presents the Dance Along Nutcracker, a bring your own point shoes and the version, bring your own tutu also, and it's a version of Tchaikovsky's Holiday Ballet, where you, and especially your little ones, nurture your inner sugar plum fairy as you pirouette with the band under the artistic baton of director J.D. Noe.
Very poetic. It sounds like fun. This annual event at the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts brings together a diverse spectrum of people. Young people, old people, men, women, people of color, Republicans.
Oh, those two?
You name it. Raymond Donald Hong brings us a preview of the upcoming Dance Along Nutcracker that will be shown later in the show. Let's begin this month's show with Roberta's interview with JoAnne Keatley.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us to this month's issue of Outlook Video, where we honor the people in our community, people like us. Tonight we welcome JoAnne Keatley, who is the Project Director for the Transgender Resource and Neighborhood Space at UCSF. Welcome, JoAnne, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Roberta.
This is terrific to have you here. Now, that's terrific that it stands for trans, which is the whole purpose. Tell us a little bit about this program.
Okay, sure. Trans is an intervention project that was funded by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. It's part of the Department of Health and Human Services. The federal government actually funded us to provide this intervention for all gender variant individuals, primarily living in the city and county of San Francisco, but also individuals throughout the Bay Area that are transgender identified or gender variant identified. And what we provide at Trans is different support groups for individuals who may have a male to female transgender identity or a female to male support group for individuals that have a masculine identity. We also have support groups for people that are attempting to decrease the use of drugs, that kind of thing. So we have a number of support groups. We have a drop-in center.
That's wonderful. And it's been around since 1999, is that correct?
Well, our group actually has been involved in the community and doing work in the community since 1999, but Trans, the project, actually didn't start up until 2001.
And you're the founder, is that right?
Yes, I'm the founder.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
And just recently, in fact, there was a big event which was held at the center, and it got to introduce some of the public about the trans community.
That's right. Now that was actually in my community work as co-chair of San Francisco Transgender Empowerment Advocacy and Mentorship, which is a not associated with Trans, the project. But in my community work, we are a group of individuals that are committed to empowering the trans community through social avenues and through social events at the center. You may have actually heard about the Trans Pride event that we held in June, where we had 3,000 individuals march in the city of San Francisco.
That's fantastic.
As part of the opening of the Pride celebration.
Oh, that's fantastic that there are that many people who are committed to be a part of the trans community.
Well, actually, San Francisco, you hear different estimates around the size of the transgender population in San Francisco, but it's estimated that there are between 10 and 15,000 trans-identified individuals living in San Francisco.
With that in mind, and being in the medical field, we were talking earlier that there are a lot of exclusions with people's medical care.
Oh, absolutely.
That one of the things that the trans community has to deal with.
Yes, unfortunately, that is the case. Actually, in most insurance companies to date, and most employers also provide health insurance policies that exclude anything related with the gender identity disorder, which is...
That seems just such a discrimination, don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. It's discriminatory, yes. And it'll be interesting, actually, now that AB 196, which is the assembly bill that Mark Leno, our wonderful ally in Sacramento, introduced. AB 196 seeks to protect trans-identified individuals from discrimination on the basis of housing and or employment. And so it'll be interesting to see what develops in terms of health insurance coverage.
We'll have to see how that develops.
Yes.
Now, quickly, since we're running out of time, there's going to be a Day of Remembrance. Can you please tell our audience a little bit about that that's coming up?
Yes. The Day of Remembrance is a day that's it's November the 20th, and it's set aside to remember all of the individuals that have lost their lives or been victims of brutality as a result of being transgender. Gwen Smith was the founder of the Day of Remembrance event, and every year on November 20th, individuals from throughout the world actually gather in their local sites and have an event to commemorate and to remember our people who have been killed. And it's hard for me to say because it's very disturbing, actually.
I can imagine that as well, knowing how it is in our community. It does hurt very deeply.
One every month.
Oh,
one every month.
I don't think our viewers are aware of that. I know I wasn't.
One a month.
Well, this is an interesting topic, and I would love to have you back on. May I ask, and put you kind of on the spot, and ask if you'll return?
Of course, sure.
Terrific.
It'd be my pleasure.
Oh, then we'll have you back again, and we can discuss this again. Thank you so much for being on our show tonight. And for our viewing audience, please take a look at your screen right now, and you can find out where you can get some more information about trans. JoAnne, thanks again for joining us.
It's my pleasure.